What does it mean to know how to write code? Hi, I'm AJ and I'm with Popcorn Robot. And one of the most confusing things for beginners to understand is what are the different levels of writing code. If you were to step back, you could probably narrow it down to 4 major stages, and it all starts with stage 1, learning how to read code. Most people in this world can't make sense of code, but when you are able to start to read code, you can actually start to make sense of what it's doing. Can you update it or change it? No, not yet. And that's a really great start, but you are still limited in the sense that you can't make changes to it. Once you can do that, that's when you hit stage 2. Stage 2 is be able to modify code. I remember when I was in this stage, I took a message board and I was updating the logo, changing the background, I was removing columns, these type of things because I knew how to modify the code because I understood the code enough that I knew what I could remove and not crash the system. That is a really powerful level and it's a great start, but you are still limited because if you wanted to change something or create something from scratch, you wouldn't be able to do that because you don't know how the system works. Once you get to that point, you meet stage 3. Stage 3 is be able to write code. Writing code usually takes a couple of months of experience, but at this point, this is when you have the ability to make a feature from scratch from beginning to end. That means you can think of an idea and create it into the system that you have. This is a really powerful level because this is when you start to really just be able to have control of doing whatever you want to do and actually create what you want to create. But you're still limited because of the size of what you can do. And that's when you get to stage 4. Stage 4 is when you start to be on an architectural level when you can start to actually create whole systems. If you want to create a whole message board system, you could do that. If you want your whole message board system to interact with an email system or a calendar system, you can do that. These are system-wide and higher level development that separates you from what only the people who can only write can create features. This usually takes a few years of experience before you can get to this point. But returning back to the original question, when can you start to write I know this technology on my resume? You should at least at a minimum hit stage 3. You need to be able to create features from beginning to end because employers need to be able to rely on you to be able to do whatever they ask you to do. The employer's worst nightmare is if they're to hire somebody and they ask them to complete a feature and they'll be like shrugging their shoulders saying, I don't know how to do that because I can only modify code. They want you to be able to write code from beginning to end and you should be able to do things from scratch. You need to get to this level of competency so that people can trust you and hit the ground running. That's the industry term that you'll hear over and over and over again. They want to hire someone that can hit the ground running. You want to get to that level so that everyone can depend on you and people will want to rely on you to be a productive member of their team. You get to this stage and the whole world will be in your hands.